So I know it's not a lot of light out here, but bear with me. Something I learned today, and it basically went like this. Siblings who came out of a household of abuse are usually in a self-defense mode. They're in a survival mode. So much so that they will often turn on one another because they're in survival mode. I'll say that again. Siblings who come from abusive households tend to turn on one another because they're constantly in survival mode, and out of survival mode, they'll turn on one another. So if one gets whooped and the other doesn't, they'll be mad at the sibling versus the parent who's doing the abuse. If one gets a little bit more attention than the other, they'll be mad at the other sibling because they're just trying to survive, versus saying, our parents are fucking us up. Let's stick together. But out of survival mode, you end up turning on your sibling. And sometimes that turn may not be like a full turn, but it just might be just this animosity towards each other that you can't quite explain or whatever. But we got to stop, take a step back and look like, do I feel this way because I was in survival mode because we both came out of an abusive household? How many times have I seen people they've gotten into it with their siblings, but they both came out of a place of abuse? And it always goes back to their parents. Their parents did or did not do some shit, pitted people against each other, or treated one differently, whatever it was, or even they all got abused, but it was or one is still sticking up for this parent and the other one is sticking up for that parent and all that stuff. And so you end up getting pitted against one another. But it's because you're in survival mode. And like, how many siblings have really gotten into it and really just needed to say, hey, our parents fucked us up and we need to heal. You are really not my enemy. I'm just mad at all the shit that we went through. And I didn't know how to figure that shit out, so I took it out on my sibling. That is some shit.